Welcome back to Sports Fans Only with your boy, Sean Mack. And today I'm back for another reaction video. Remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Small channel, couldn't do it without y'all, and we're growing. So I'm in between work today. So I took a little break from research and took a little break from cleaning the house and doing some things that I had to do. And I'm letting my phone play. I was watching some shorts, and I hear on one short, I'm like, wait a minute. And that's Gilbert Arenas' voice. So I perk up. He's always saying some, I don't know, crazy stuff, if you ask me. Some good, some bad, sometimes in, but he in. That's Gilbert Arenas. So I'm listening to what he's saying, and I hear him saying that Vince Carter was a lazy player. And I'm like, oh my God, it got to be more to what he's saying. It got to be more. So I listened to it, and I'm like, And it made me think, not was Vince lazy and this and that. Maybe he chose the wrong words, but I wasn't thinking was Vince lazy, but it got me thinking, Vince didn't actually become the person I thought he was going to become when he left North Carolina, because he was bad in North Carolina. He also was bad in the NBA. He was a good player. Bad meaning good. So it got me thinking, why didn't Vince Carter live up to what the expectations was that many thought he could be? So that got me thinking. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop this and do a story on it. So here we are. So what I need you to do is listen to Gilbert Arenas and what he had to say about Vince Carter, and I'm going to come right back to spit some more of that hot fire. Holla.
Since he already hates me because I've already put it out there, I'll just keep going. That's it, Vince Carter. He should have been he should have been the next one, right? He had everything. He had the one of one begotten. Like you're looking at, oh my God, this is what's coming. Jumping ability, hands, arm, hang time, charisma, style. Like you've never seen anything like it. But he was a nice guy. So I call him lazy because it's my way of saying he was too nice.
All right, y'all heard what Gilbert Arenas had to say. Now, sometimes with Gilbert Arenas, I think he just say things for shock value. He's like a shock jock. He's gonna say something I think he won't even believe, and then he just let the views come in and all the attention come in, good or bad. Now, also like what I said, I think he maybe didn't use lazy, but I kind of understood what he was saying. I really did. As I always do, I like to break it down, and I go over some things about why Vince Carter didn't become the player that that we thought he was going to become. He is a Hall of Famer. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think, last year. Before we get into that, remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I won't say it no more, I promise. So we're going to get into 3 things on why didn't Vince Carter become the all-time great that many believe he was going to become. Number 1, his career was riddled with injuries. For y'all young people out there, Vince was a beast. Vince could dunk over everybody. Me growing up, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins was the best dunkers ever. In game, in the slam dunk contest, it was always them two. Then a guy named Vince Carter in the mid-90s, I think, played for North Carolina. And this man was jumping from everywhere, anywhere. He was giving them a dragon. If y'all want to know what a dragon is, that mean when I'm go up so high, I'm a dragon my over your head. You understand what I'm saying? He used to give everybody a dragon. But as his career went on, it was filled with injuries. Vince didn't do too well with his knees and his back. But I don't know if that came from all the torque and all the dunking he would do and all the high flying action that he would give us on the court. But as I said in that Joel Embiid video from a few weeks ago, some people are just made to be what they are. They aren't really made to go any higher, even though we think, oh my God, if that guy apply himself, he could become one of the greatest of all times. Vince Carter pretty much lived off of sheer skills and athleticism that God gave him. And sometimes he went as far as he can go with it. But injuries was one part of it. Number 2, he was not born with that killer instinct. Let me tell you why. At one point, Kobe and Vince was right here. A lot of people would give Vince the little nod early in the career because he was on his team with Tracy McGrady. McGrady left, and then he left after 1 year or 2 years playing with him in Toronto. He left. But at one point, Vince was right here because it seemed like Vince could do it on his own. He could have his own team. Then Shaq left Kobe, and then we saw the Mamba come out in Kobe, and then we was like, wait a minute. That guy just wants it more than mostly everybody in the NBA. And when you looked at Vince, he could give you 26 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, few steals, 2 to 3 major highlight dunks during the game. But one thing that Vince couldn't do when you really looked at it, you had to have a keen eye, and you had to really like basketball and know basketball to see it. In them third quarters, coming out of the halftime, when you had to make adjustments, Vince played the same way. At the beginning of the game, if it's a big game 7, Vince going to play the same way. If it's late in the fourth quarter and you need him to step up a little bit more and give you a little bit extra, no, Vince is going to be the same player. So some people are born with that killer instinct and some people just don't have it. I believe a killer instinct is something that you can't really gain. Either you have it in you and it just hasn't flourished yet, or you're just not that aggressive of a player. Vince was aggressive off the dribble. Vince was aggressive coming off a screen. Later in his career, he got a nice three-point shot once his athleticism went away. But one thing that Vince never was to me, and this is in my opinion, but hit up the comment section if you agree or if you don't. If you agree or you disagree, just hit up that comment section and let me know. It won't hurt my feelings. But Vince Carter, to me, when I would look at him, you could never tell what quarter it was. It was just always Vince Carter doing great things in the air, decent jump shot, but he never, to me, had that killer instinct. That's just my opinion. Number 3, and I'm going to let you get on out of here. I won't keep you long. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Number 3, he couldn't, and this might be the number one. This might be the number one because he might have been considered or looked at in a different light if he had this. Vince Carter could not make his teammates better. It's not one player that was average, or a little bit above average, or way below, or whatever the person was that played with Vince Carter and got better because of Vince Carter. He played with Jason Kidd. He still couldn't quite get there. He played with numerous people. He just could not make his teammates better. And that's just the way that it is sometimes. Some people are just a solo act, like in tennis, golf, figure skating. That was Vince Carter. He was a solo act. He was good for the NBA. No, shit, not good. He was great for the NBA. He was great for his times, and he was a great dunker. And he also gave us the greatest dunk ever seen by any human being's eyes to ever live. If you don't know it, it's kind of hard to find because the Olympic hold tight to that coverage for some reason. Like in 50 years, I don't know why they hold so tight to that dunk and all that film footage from the Olympics when he was in. If you didn't know, now you know. Vince Carter jumped over a guy who was like 7'2", gave him a dragon, and then knocked him down. This man was like 7 feet, man. He took off like almost from the dotted line and gave him a dragon. It was nasty. It was horrible. His family was watching that. That was a shame what you did to him, Vince. But to me, Vince Carter was a solo act, and he was just one of them people that was great for the game, kind of like a Dominique Wilkins. Everything I just said about Vince Carter, I watched Dominique pretty much his entire career. You could kind of say the same thing for Vince Carter that I just said for you could say the same thing about Dominique Wilkins that I just said for Vince Carter. But that's, in my opinion, why Vince Carter just didn't become an all-time great, but he is a Hall of Famer. Talent brought him that far to the Hall of Fame, and it was a great career, and I love to see it. On that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Sports Fans Only. Holla.